Production. I mean, we already met family. We already met friends. Why are we doing it again? I feel like y'all ran out of things to do and y'all just making up stuff at this point because like we really don't need to meet no more family. We really don't need to meet any more friends. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Hey y'all, it's Chloe and we're back with another video, Ready to Love Season 10, Episode 11. Y'all, we still meeting people family. I felt like we did this, done that, over it, so over it. But nonetheless, we got some things to get into. But before we do, if this is your first time here, sit back, relax, watch the video through. And if you like what you see and you like what you hear, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before and you keep joining me for Ready to Love and you have not subscribed yet, I'm just trying to figure out why. Why is the only question that I have. Obviously, you like it here and I want you here, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If y'all one of my lovely members or subscribers, hey y'all, how y'all doing? I'm doing okay. Okay, I'm ready to get into this review, so we just gonna go ahead and get into it. So the episode opens up with the men. They're meeting Tommy at the vault. Okay, we are down to 4 men and 5 women, meaning that it's time for somebody to go home. I would prefer y'all just go ahead and give us our 3 couples so we can move on. Reunion me, please. Reunion me, please. Okay, but nonetheless, Tommy tells them that the men are going to introduce the ladies to their families. I would say again, but they met their friends before. Again, I'm just gonna say it again, okay? Jay brought Kiara to meet his family, his mom, his dad, his aunt, his cousin. I said, oh, you must be serious because you brought the whole family up in here, okay? So Kiara gets there and Jay aunt is like, how long have y'all been together? And I'm like, Jay, did you tell your aunt that this is a dating show? Did you tell her you on a dating show? Because what does she mean how long y'all been together? They haven't been together. They're not even together. They're still trying to figure it out. You know, just figure it out. Nonetheless, his dad wants to know how close she is with her family. And she says that she's very, very close to them. And she's also an only child. When she said she's an only child, that made so much sense to me. Like everything just started adding up. That is why she spoiled you the way she spoiled you. That is why she has those tantrums when things just don't go her way. Makes perfect sense to me now, okay? So Kiara talks about her last relationship and how it ended and, you know, just really getting to know each other. Let me tell you something. Jay's aunt is a vibe, okay? She was out there just saying whatever she felt like saying, however she felt like saying it, and I was here for all of it. It was a really fun meet-up and a good interaction, okay? Kiara did say that, you know, their next steps in their relationship is bringing their kids together. I feel like your next step should actually be y'all becoming official, but nonetheless, if you want to bring the kids together, let's go ahead and do that, okay? Now, Jay said that he's not really sure if he's ready to introduce her to his kids just yet because how she behaved on the trip. Now, I'm just sitting here like, Jay, you brought this on yourself. Nonetheless, they start talking about this trip. And they like, so we want to hear your side of the story. And she was like, so what was the side that you heard? Because there is only one side of the story. He was basically hugged up with another woman. Like, I wasn't there. That was the side of the story. He said that's what he told them. The way they looked like they were surprised that even happened. But he talked about how she shut down. And that was what really bothered him the most, the fact that she didn't want to talk to him about it. And his mother made it a point to say that, like, you have to communicate. You have to learn how to, you know, work things out and talk it through. And I completely agree with that because I'm not going to lie, the way Kiara kind of handled that situation was a little bit childish. She never got up directly to talk to him. She laid in the bed, she yelled and screamed, and she did the most, and it caused more confrontation between them. And then the way she ran down on daggone Sahara, yeah, girl, you got a lot of things that you need to work on. But hey, what can I say? But overall, his family really likes her, and I like Kiara and Jay together. Do I feel like they're going to be together like long term? No. But for the sake of Ready to Love, I'm rooting for them, I guess. I'm rooting, yay, for them, you know? Now, Husin brought Rose. First of all, let me tell y'all something because y'all was eating me up about how I say Husin. I got it now. Y'all happy? Husin, because the way y'all was in there tearing me apart, I said y'all had to be new here because y'all know I'm going to mess up a name that's not intentional. I promise you it's not. But nonetheless, Husin brought Rose to meet his brothers, okay? And she tells them about her family and how she's close to them. And then they start talking about her past relationships and what that looked like. She was like, you know, I've had a few relationships, maybe 3 in my adult life or whatever. And his brother lets her know that she called Husin at the perfect time because he's matured so much and he's changed so much. And she was like, good, because I prefer my man to have already got that stuff out of their systems. I agree, because sometimes you got to wait till these men man get way older for them to actually want to settle down and be ready to be in real committed relationships. So better late than never, I guess, right? But she tells them that she has a 17-year-old son. I don't know why I didn't know her son was 17. I felt like he was younger, but I think it's the way she refers to him sometimes. It made it seem like he was maybe like 7 or 8. So they want to know, like, what's your relationship like with the father? And she was like, oh, I don't deal with that man at all. But you know what? I don't deal with him and he's in jail. Whoa. News to us. News to Husin. Husin is like, hold up, because like she had plenty of time to tell me this and she never told me this. Now he's starting to question, like, what else is she hiding from me? I feel like that's something that you need to say. Okay, because if the man's in jail, why is he in jail? Do I have to worry about him coming after me? Do I have to worry about, like, what? Give me the tea, run it down to me, and let me know what's going on. So I could understand why Husin would be feeling the type of way, because, like, sis, that's valuable information that I feel like you should have told me. And then when I find out, I have to find out in front of my brothers. I understand why he would feel a little bit blindsided. But the way, she put it, it's nothing. You ain't got to worry about nothing. I don't know that man. If I walk past him on the street, I wouldn't even know who he is. Sorry to that man. That's exactly what she was giving. Now, Angie shows up and I was like, oh, I thought it was just going to be Rose. But no, Angie is there too. And I mean, Angie came in with this ball of energy and she was carrying this date. When I tell you, she was putting it out there. She was open. She was honest. The energy was giving. And this is the first time I looked at Angie and was like, I like her. Because she's been rubbing me wrong for the last couple of episodes. So this episode really put her in a good light for me. And not only did I feel like she came in and brought all the good energy and stuff like that, his brothers did as well. Because they said they feel like she is the best choice for him. And I totally understand why they would feel that way. Because after watching the interaction between how Angie showed up and Rose showed up, it just felt like Angie was more comfortable. She was more open. She was more honest about everything. I don't know. I kind of got what they were saying when it came to Angie. Even though I do feel like there's a crazy part of Angie that I don't know if Husin really ready for. You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Now, Taye is meeting up with Cisco's sister, and I'm just still like, every time I see them, it just breaks my poor little heart for Taye, because I feel like she's just doing the best she can with what she got, and what she got is Cisco, okay? So the sister asked her, what is she looking for in a relationship? And she's like, I'm looking for a long-term relationship that's going to lead to marriage, because I want to have children. I want it all, okay, baby? I need it all. Now, his sister's like, I can't wait to see him walk down the aisle with somebody. And I was like, wasn't he already married? If I'm not mistaken, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't Cisco already married? Did he not have a wedding, or did he go to the courthouse? Like, what's the tea? Because for her to be saying like she just can't wait, I'm assuming that they didn't have a wedding, but he was married. Am I wrong? Okay, maybe I'm wrong. But Taye doesn't want to talk about walking down the aisle because she has bigger concerns in mind, and that concern is stability. Here's my thing. If you have to keep bringing something up every single time, it's an issue. It is something that you have not worked on, sorted out, moved past. It is an issue. Every time Taye sits down with Cisco, they talk about the same thing together. When they sit down with their friends and family, they talk about the same thing over and over and over again. Taye, it's an issue for you, girl, and there's no reason for you to settle. And you shouldn't feel bad about it, okay? You don't have to give that man a chance because he's quote unquote a good man. Because we don't even know that for real. What if this man isn't a good man? Not only are you going to end up in a relationship with him, once the mask drop and you realize he's not all that he says he is, and on top of that, he is not stable, girl, you digging a ditch that I don't think you want to get in. I'm just saying. Nonetheless, he is upset because he feels like they moved past it. Well, obviously y'all haven't, because y'all keep bringing it up. And you want to know what that says, Cisco? That says that you have not reassured her that she will have a stable life with you, because it keeps coming up. So why are you disappointed? If anything, you should be disappointed in yourself, okay? His sister gonna tell Taye, don't worry about the little bumps in the road. You can work through that. We are grown as hell. We trying to build families. I don't have time to be building in my late 30s. You need to come with something. I come with something. We join it together and let it blossom. Why are we starting from the bottom? This is crazy to me. Just so crazy to me. His sister likes her. Of course she does, because like she's going to take care of your brother, right? Right. All right. Okay. So now Cam brought Sahara, Rose, Angie, his mother, his sister, his brother, everybody, because you know Cam got a whole lineup or whatever the case may be. It's time to narrow it down, sir. It is 4 y'all, 5 women. Why do you have 3 of the women out of the 5? Why? Make it make sense because it's not making sense. Nonetheless, they all appreciate that he's a firefighter because that means that, he's put himself aside to help others. And they talk about what they would do to make him feel loved and stuff like that. And once again, Angie shows up. When I tell you, she showed up this episode. She showed up. I was sitting there like, I think Angie might be good for him too. Girl was putting on a show, okay? I'm not going to say it's a show, but she was definitely putting on a show. Now, they talk about how stubborn Cam is, and they like, oh, yeah, we know he's stubborn. Oh, yes, we can tell he's stubborn. And I'm just like, ugh. Y'all giving Cam way too much for me. Y'all just giving Cam way too much for me because that man is playing in all y'all faces. And when his sister said that in his past relationship, he used to be toxic, I said, ding, 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 because that is why he likes Angie. And that is why he wants to, keep trying to figure out if she will bust the windows out the car because he's had that done to him before because he was out here being toxic and playing games. When I told y'all that he was, trying to see if he could get away with some stuff, I still believe that he was trying to see if he could get away with some stuff. Because the way he kept bringing it up, either you want to deal with her or you not. You already know how she moves. She told you how she moves. She showed you how she moves. And yet and still, you still want to pursue this. Why? Because you still got some toxic in you too. Just saying. Now, his cousin and his sister also feel like Angie is probably the best for him. They do like that Rose is more mature or whatever. But they said that Sahara is similar to the woman that he's used to dating. And that she's, of course, a good time. She's exciting. But all of that eventually will wear off. And so Cam was hoping that they saw something in Sahara that made her good for him. I feel like if you need to hope and pray that someone else can see something in someone for you, then baby, you don't know how to choose your right person. Because there's no reason why I should have to tell you this person is good for you. Do you feel like she's good for you? Yes, you can take in consideration what they say, but if you are leaving it up to them to find that something, that very much something, then maybe she's just not the one for you. But a part of me is starting to feel like Cam is looking for everyone to tell him that it's okay to pick Sahara. Because we know that Sahara is a little rough around the edges. We know that she's way different than most of the other women. But I also feel like he feels like, if everyone else tells me it's okay to like Sahara, then I can like Sahara. And I don't like that for her. Because I don't want him to be with someone who needs validation about her. Like, no, absolutely not. So because Cam needs to find something, very much something when it comes to Sahara, he decides that he's going to take her out on a date to see if she's still worth kind of pursuing. If you got to do this much, sir, she not the one. That's all I got to say. But nonetheless, he did show up. He gave her a gift. I love that. And I feel like Cam really likes her. I feel like he just doesn't want to really admit it. I don't know why. Are you embarrassed by her? It's given like you may be a little bit embarrassed by Sahara. I don't know what's going on, okay? But she just wants him to make a decision because he has 3 girls. And I'm just saying here like, this is exactly what your friend said you do. Kim, you hold on to people even though you know it's nothing there because that's what you're doing. You holding on to 3 women. Why? Why? He tells her that he wants to map out what their future would look like. He wants to see, where this can go. She says she wants everything, okay? She's leaving here with something, and I'm not mad at her. But girl, I don't know if you want to take a risk with Kim because he feels unsure about you, okay? I know that he likes her, but I feel like his family not putting her at the top is really going to be the deciding factor for him because ultimately he wants someone that everyone would approve of and he will pick that over how he actually feels. I don't know. That's how I feel. And I feel like it's going to hurt her feelings if he doesn't choose her because he's making it seem like he really likes her, buying her the gifts. They just connecting, talking about a future together. And then they share this kiss. So if he was to actually eliminate her, this would be like low-key a slap in the face. I ain't gonna hold you. It would really be like a slap in the face. Now, Husin is taking Rose out because he needs to dig deeper into this whole child's father situation because like why he in jail? Is he gonna come try to take me out when he get out because I'm with his family? Give me the tea on what's going on, okay? So when he's talking to her, he's like, you never mentioned one time that that your baby's father was in jail and like it feels like you're holding on to secrets and he's just trying to figure out why she never brought it up. She said honestly because I'll be forgetting about it. Like, I don't think about it. Now, I can believe that to a certain extent because her son is 17. His son is 17, and she probably doesn't really think about him because she's so used to him not being around. So I can understand that. But when he brought up the fact that Kiara brought up the situation with her baby daddy, it was like, so you didn't feel like that was the time for you to bring up your baby daddy? Like, girl, the door was open and you never walked through it. She said that she wasn't around when that conversation happened. She just heard about it. And I'm still like, and you still didn't feel like you should have mentioned it? Now that we are opening up and we're telling people about our situations and our dating past, which I think is very important when dating, why wouldn't you bring that up? So he was like, okay, what about when we was talking to the exes? That was the time to bring it up. And she was like, my exes don't even know. And that's when I said, oh, so you had no intentions on telling him. Because if your exes don't know about your son's father, there was no way in hell you was going to tell Kim. There was no way in hell you was going to tell Kim. Because, like, girl, no, I'm not buying it, girl. I understand it might be something embarrassing, something you don't want to talk about. But when you are dating and you are dating for a relationship, long term, and marriage, I feel like some things just need to be said. Now, I don't know if you ain't want to put it out there for the world to see or no, but y'all could have had that conversation in private and asked him to keep it a secret. I don't know, Rose. This is not looking good for you, okay? Now, she feels like he's just trying to catch her in a lie. And my thing is, I feel like I know you're not lying, but you definitely was holding in that secret. You definitely was holding in that secret, okay? So, of course, Cam wants to know, like, so what will happen if he get out of prison and he decides that, he wants to rekindle something. He want to get back with his family. He wants you back. He want to, do this thing together. She's like, I will hope he doesn't. I will hope he doesn't because that's not ever going to happen. And she feels like he shouldn't even have to worry about that at all. Okay, but if you felt like he shouldn't have to worry, then you should have told him. If it's something that's not of any importance, it's not going to interfere in your life long term, why didn't you just bring it up so y'all could get through it and move forward? You was holding on to that secret for a reason, and I don't know what the reason was. Maybe embarrassment. I'm not sure. But you were holding on to it for a reason, okay? But the thing is, Husin was even more upset because he had to find this out in front of his brothers. And he said it made him look like a sucker. Girl, y'all remember when Rose and Husin was talking? And Husin told her, oh, you get one chance? Because she says, you get 3 strikes from me. And he was like, you get one? Baby, this your strike. This is your strike. Strike and you're out. Because he ain't giving you no more. I promise you that. I really do, okay? But she does open up about how, she doesn't want to relive that part of her life because it was a very dark time for her. And I totally understand that, and I totally get it. But if he's not of any importance and you have completely moved on, this could have been a conversation that y'all could have just had and moved past. I'm just saying. So now all the men meet back up with Tommy, right? Jay talks about how his mom told Kiara that she needs to communicate better. And I also feel like his mom should have told him that he need better boundaries. Okay, we're not going to keep talking about what Kiara could have did when you need better boundaries, Jay. Like maybe not touching your friends that are women. Okay, how about we work on your boundaries and she can work on her communication, and then maybe we won't have this problem anymore. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, okay? Cisco's talking about how Taye is still trying to wrap her head about how to navigate this situation with him being broke and him living in a room and him not really having no stable career and the things. Like, sir, you should not even be here. You shouldn't even be here. You should just be lucky that somebody's interested in you. That's what you should be, okay? Now, Cam talks about how his family puts Sahara at the bottom and he values their opinion, but he likes her and he knows that she will ride for him. And that's what I mean. Like, you just want somebody in your corner for real. Do you even like her for real, or do you like what you think you can get from her? Do you want to drain her of her energy and be able to ride and die with her? She don't want to die no more. She just wants to go for a ride. And I feel like you're trying to put her in a ride or die situation, and I don't like it at all. At all, which is why Cam keep nagging Angie about, you bust windows out the car? Really? And you do tit for tat? Really? Okay, y'all can think I'm wrong if you want to, but trust and believe Cam's giving very much F-boy energy. Very much so. Now, Husin said that his friends think Angie is best for him, but he also found out that Rose's baby father is in prison. And Tommy was like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute, Cam, you know about this? And Cam was like, oh no, this is news to me. And now he's wondering why she's hiding it. And that is the thing. That's why I'm just like, Rose, I don't understand. Girl, if it's not that important to you, why did you hide it? Because it's not a good look. I feel like that is something I would want to know. So I can't be mad at the men for wanting to know. And Husin said that this situation is a whole deal breaker for him. And I'm trying to figure out, is the deal breaker the fact that the baby father is in jail, or is the deal breaker the fact that she didn't tell you about it to begin with? Because I feel like listening to the men talk, that's why a lot of men didn't pursue Kiara, because her baby father's in jail. That's what I picked up from the conversation. Y'all let me know which one y'all think it is. Now, Cam feels like Rose showed more interest in Husin when they was at the getaway, so he's trying to figure out where he stands with her. So Tommy's like, well, take her out and see what's going on. So he takes Rose out so he can get clarity, and she still doesn't feel like the whole situation with her baby father is a big deal. Like, I don't understand what they mad for, but if he wants to ask some questions, I'll answer them. It is what it is. And I'm just like, okay, Rose, girl. Okay. She feels like this whole situation has been blown out of proportion and they doing way too much. And see, this is the thing. Instead of Rose just being open about her baby father and, letting him know what it was, she tried to flip it on him and say, you did the same thing to me. And I was saying, like, what did he do to you, girl? Tell us, because we didn't see it. So apparently she feels like because he knew that she was sharing a room with Husin and he didn't tell her that he was sharing a room with Sahara, that's the same thing. No, that's not the same thing. Y'all literally was all in the same house together. Girl, you need a better reason than that, because now we're doing tit for tat and I don't like that, because you gaslighting that man. That is not the same thing. Now she's telling him that he needs to figure it out, because when they was on the trip, he didn't really give her no attention. He's like, well, you was playing house with Husin. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It literally is what it is. That's exactly what happened. So she's like, well, then you need to cut it down to me and somebody else. Girl, little do you know, you are the one getting cut, because that's when he told her that she is not ready to love. I don't care. I thought I had something to follow up with. I don't care, y'all. I really don't. I just don't, okay? But nonetheless, she's upset because, she feels like they did way too much. It wasn't that serious. Well, if it wasn't that serious, then you should have said something. But you didn't. So therefore, I guess it became that serious. So here we are. But she is really hurt by Husin, and because she felt like they had something stronger than that. So then why was you trying to make Cam choose you? Why would you trying to make Cam choose you? Child, that was ready to love. Reunion me, please. Reunion me, please. I can't do it no more. And then they still trying to make them meet more friends. We don't care. We don't care. Just make a decision. Make a decision and get us to the reunion. That's all that I need for Ready to Love to do for me. Okay? I really hope y'all enjoyed this review. Get down in the comments. Let me know what y'all thought about the episode. Go ahead, like the video. Hype the video up. There's a new feature called Hype. So go ahead and hype the video up. Do the things of the things, y'all. And subscribe to the channel. And with all that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.